What up, soul fam? I am having the worst luck recording videos for you guys. I'm doing another witchy vlog. Maybe they don't like witchy vlogs. I don't know. Wednesday I recorded a video for you guys 35 minutes in, and I was using the YouTube platform. My husband came in, kind of interrupted, so I couldn't pause it, and then I forgot that I was recording, and then I had to just end the video, and I couldn't even save it. So bummed. And it was about death, so I assumed that it was probably not for you guys. It was something that I needed to hear myself, and by speaking it out loud, the message was for me in some way. I don't know. I mean, it did bring up something for me that I wanted to process, so maybe it was for me and not for you guys. Then I tried to do a video for you guys yesterday, and I had no more space on my phone, so it kind of just ended. Like, I was talking and it just like ended. So I was like, I'm not posting that, because it was kind of like watching a good movie and you're really into this movie, and then at the ending of the movie you're like, that's how it ends? That's the ending of this movie? And then it just makes the whole movie suck, you know? And I didn't want to do that to you guys. Then I just tried to record again, and I'm talking, and then I look and it's gone. Like, what the hell is going on here? So it's like, I'm gonna try this one more time. If this video doesn't go through, then maybe I just need a break. Maybe you guys need a break from me. I don't know. Today's Friday, off to work again, making sure no cars are coming. What do I want to talk about? Random acts of kindness, but not like the kind where you buy somebody coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or wherever it is you go and buy coffee. Wherever you go to buy coffee. I drink Dunkin'. Not talking about holding a door open for somebody or saying good morning or smiling or anything like that, even though those are all great, you know, random acts of kindness. Feeding a homeless person, giving money to a homeless person, those are all great random acts of kindness. But the video I was doing yesterday was to challenge you guys to do a random act of kindness, and it was to check on your neighbor, check on your family. Especially if you have somebody that's sick in your family or old in your family. I put a whole long post up on my Facebook page, so if any of you guys follow me on Facebook, you probably read it. It was very triggering. Some of my ego let out a lot that I wanted to say. Also, some of my spirit had a lot to, to say. So it was ego driven, and it was also some to do with, light, love, awareness, consciousness, stuff like that, to bring awareness. I noticed my father. That's what made me talk about it. He's, for those of you that have been following me for a while, all of last year, you guys already know that he was in the ICU for many months. He was on life support. He was in an induced coma. He had a diabetic stroke, and then while he was in the hospital, he had another stroke. They didn't think he was going to pull through, and I proved that, they were calling them involuntary movements that people with brain damage do, or stroke patients do. And I was telling the doctor, those are not involuntary movements. Maybe some of them were, but there were some that I was noticing a response. Now I'm very hypersensitive with people. Body language. I pick up on body language. I thought everybody picked up on body language, but apparently they don't. I'm very keen, okay? I could tell you if I'm gonna like you within a matter of seconds that I meet you. Not just by body language, but by your energy signature as well. And my husband always says, that he's like, oh, you're crazy, or whatever, when I tell him something about somebody and he's just like, you know, he don't believe me at first, and it takes him many months sometimes. Sometimes it's taken years for him to see things that I saw within seconds. And he always comes back to me and says, you know what, man, you're right, I should listen to you. So I can see things about my dad that these people are not seeing. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm seeing it because he's my dad. So I'm used to this stuff. But I don't really even think my family was seeing it too. So I had to record it to prove to them that he was being responsive. You know, those involuntary responses that he was giving, you know, yawning, or, you know, I don't know, just the little things that he was doing, moving his fingers and twitching. Some of it was involuntary due to the damage in the brain, you know, having blood on the brain. But there was a lot of it when I spoke to him. He was doing certain things to show me. His eyes were rolling back and forth. He could hear me. He understood that we were there. So, long story short, I didn't mean to go all into that, but he's home now. He's out of the hospital. He's doing good, you know. But I noticed, these last few days, it's been really hot here in New York, really humid. We've been under heat advisory. I mean, our grass is brown and crunchy in a lot of areas. It's a big fire hazard right now. And, my husband is my father's caregiver. My husband doesn't stay at his house all day. He normally does. We have 2 cars, but one of them, I need something. I don't even know. Something, calipers or something like that. So, can't drive it. So, I take the car and I go to work. So, he's been picking my father up and bringing him to our house. When it's not hot as the devil's ass, he'll stay at his house when we have 2 cars. But he's been bringing him to our house. Our house is cooler than his house. We have a pool. He can cool off in the pool. My father likes it hot. Like, he doesn't have AC. He doesn't believe in it. But because he has dementia and it affects the way you think, he's a diabetic, and heat is bad for diabetics. I didn't know this, but this is new to me. A diabetic is not supposed to be in the heat, in the sun, for a long period of time. It will make their numbers drop very low. I don't really know how true that is. My sister told me that. She said that's what the doctor told her. So, I mean, it makes sense. Every time my dad goes outside, and if he's out there too long, his numbers do rapidly go down very fast. So, anyways, I've noticed that since he's been home, a year later, there's been a decline in friends and family reaching out to him. That causes depression. And then on top of the decline, he can't drive. So a lot of his sovereign rights are being taken away from him. His free sovereign rights of being a soul inside this vessel. His vessel is failing him. So he cannot do the things that he used to be able to do. That can be depressing. He's not able to drive. His license was taken away from him. That can be depressing, especially if you are an independent person that never depended on anybody, and your motto was, me, myself, and I will do it. Me, myself, and I always do it. I don't need anybody because me, myself, and I got it. So now my father can't rely on me, myself, and I. He has to rely on people to help him and watch out for him. But I've noticed that nobody is watching out for him. Nobody is checking on him. Just myself and my husband. Well, my husband's his caretaker, so he's with him quite a bit. And I felt very concerned, very sad that people that were his best friend, they don't even come around anymore. When people come around, he lights up. He's so happy. But even his best friends, they don't come around like they used to, and it's kind of depressing and sad. And that depression makes your illness, makes you more sick. It makes you, it brings you down. And all he wants to do is sleep. And I know that is part of, you know, what happens to somebody that has Alzheimer's. But there's nobody there to keep him active, keep him alert, keep him talking, keep him happy, unless we bring him to the house, and then he, you know, he still sleeps when he comes to the house, but a lot less than he does when he's at home. And I don't know, it was just kind of concerning that, you know, he has family. He has one sibling that's still alive. He has cousins. You know, he just has people. They were all concerned before, but it's like nobody really reaches out anymore. People even used to reach out to me, and they don't reach out anymore. He has children. You know, I get it. We're all busy. We all have busy lives. All of us, you know. My sister has 3 very young children. She does his shopping, and my dad has this thing on his arm that you scan to check his numbers, and she puts that on when it needs to be changed. She takes him to his doctors. I don't know if I said that already. My brother, he doesn't really come around, and it's kind of upsetting. And this is no judgment, because, you know, maybe my brother doesn't come around because he doesn't want to see his father decline in health. You know, I can't judge. You know, I don't want to see my father decline in health either, but I don't want to see my father sad because even his own children are not sitting down and, you know, hanging out with him. They, you know, people come around when they have to do something for him, and then when they're done doing whatever medically needs to be done, they jet out. And, you know, my father's still Gary. You know, he still has emotions, he still has a brain, and he knows this. He's aware that people only come when he needs help with something, and then when he's done, they're done, they leave. Nobody just says, hey, you want to go out for ice cream, or hey, you want to go out for a coffee, or, you know, nobody comes over to shoot the shit for an hour or two just because. And it's heartbreaking to hear my father say these things and express this, and all he wants is my brother to just come over and hang out with him by himself and shoot the shit and have a cup of coffee. And my brother's really busy with his business, like really busy. And so I get it. Not only is he very busy with his business, he also has a family. So when he's not busy with his business, I totally get wanting to be with your family, because shit, you know, last place I want to be right now is going to work. I'd rather just be home tending to my yard and living life and having fun. And, you know, when I'm done with work, I want to get to the projects that I have at home, and I want to be with people and catch up on things. And it's like, I don't really want to do certain things, but I sacrifice to do those things. So my husband's his name is, we call him Freeze. That's his stage name. His real name is Angelo. Angel. My husband's like an earth angel. He's here, and he's always taking care of people that are sick. He's taking care of my dad. I just hope that my husband is alive to take care of me when I get like, I don't want to say get like my dad. I don't want to manifest that shit. But when I get, you know, to a point where I can't take care of myself. And if he can't, I hope my children step up and take care of me as well as my husband takes care of my dad. Like, do we really have people that give a shit about us? And I don't hold anything against my parents, you know. I don't hold no grudges. But that's me. Again, I cannot judge. I can't say that my parents were the best parents. You know, for a long time I held it against them, and I hated them for being poor parents, bad parents, drug addicts, alcoholics, abusive, virgin, verbally and physically. You know, but I know why I was placed in that home, placed with Diane and Gary, I needed that as a light warrior. I needed that. That was like my training to give me strength, to get me to where I am right now talking to you guys. It made me a strong person. Okay? So I don't hold any grudges. They did in a 3D perspective, they did the best they knew how at that time in their lives. I'm sure that if they knew to do better, they would have. It's not like they purposely said, you know what, I'm going to take drugs. I'm going to drink a lot of fucking alcohol. I'm going to become an addict. I'm going to purposely lose my house and go bankrupt. I'm going to get a divorce just to fuck my kids' lives up. No, that's not what they did. It's just they didn't know any better, you know? They walked down a sketchy path. They didn't know any better. So I don't hold that shit against them. Now that they're older, they apologize a lot. And I tell them all the time, it's the past. You don't have to apologize for that shit. It made me who I am today. And it showed me how to be a better mom to my kids. You know, I didn't walk a straight and narrow path. Sorry, a straight and narrow path as a good mom. I got pregnant when I was 16. I had just turned 17, and then my son was born like a week later. So, you know, I was young. I was a young mom, still wanting to hang out with my friends, be a teenager, be a young adult, go clubbing and stuff like that. So I wasn't like an A+ mom at the beginning. I had a lot of learning to do. But the one thing I never did was drugs. I never became an addict. I'm not going to say I didn't drink. I drank alcohol. I don't drink alcohol now. The only drug I've ever done was smoking weed. No, that's a lie. I dropped acid once or twice. Yeah, I took acid. But I never did other shit like coke or heroin or anything crazy like that. I didn't fuck with that shit. I like to smoke weed. I like to get high and shit, I'm low on fuel. Yeah. So I didn't really do crazy stuff. I like to dance and I liked to be with my friends. But I didn't abandon my children, and I didn't do a lot of things that there is a dragonfly. They're just like chilling. It's circling my vehicle. So yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't do like my parents did, but there are a lot of fucked up things that I did do, but I straightened myself out, and I always had my kids, and they were always taken care of. So I did the best that I knew how to do. You know, I raised myself. My mom and dad were addicts. So I raised myself, and I raised my brother and my sister. I was changing diapers at 8 years old. I learned how to change a diaper. I'm 7 years older than my sister. Like, you know, I had my mom around, you know, taking care of her when she was a little tiny infant. My parents divorced when I was 10, but there was some sketchy shit going on between 8 and 10. I mean, there's a lot of things. I was even molested by one of my mom's boyfriends. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of shit that went on in my life. And if you're watching this, don't apologize for hearing what I just said. You know, it's just awareness, and, you know, shit happens. So a lot of shit happened in my life. So I knew what I did not want to happen in my children's life. But because so much weird shit happened in my life and I didn't have that nurturing as a kid, it's like I had to learn to find nurturing, to love myself. It took me a long time to love myself. And I've always just loved my kids and wanted to protect them, obviously. Dating men, oh my God, because I didn't love myself, I always picked the winners. Except for my husband. He is part of the ending of this whole chapter in my life of learning to love myself. For the longest time, I didn't trust him because he's an artist. He travels, he sings, he has female fans. But being married to him, never did I have a jealous bone in my body. He never gave me a reason to feel like I needed to stand guard and watch my man. Plus, I went through so much stupid shit with guys that it was like, you know, you're going to lose out. If you treat me bad, you're just going to lose out on the best thing you've ever had. So I was at that point in my life where I really didn't care if, you know, I couldn't really trust him or not. But he never gave me a reason not to. And he's a good guy, really good guy. He's 13 years older than me. He's a good guy. And we have a daughter together. And being with him has been a big part of my healing journey. I don't even know how I got off the tracks here talking about random acts of kindness to me, but a lot has gone on in my life. So getting back to not holding grudges or anything, I don't hold any grudges. My parents did the best that they could, and me as a young mom, I'm doing the best that I can. So maybe some people don't reach out to other people because they have a grudge. So they're like, fuck it. He deserves it, or they deserve it, or so-and-so deserves it. You're sick. You brought it upon yourself. Maybe my dad did bring all this upon himself. He didn't take care of himself. You know, he was diabetic. It runs in his family. I don't believe in that shit. That karmic ancestral bullshit ends with me. That shit, I'm not going to be a diabetic. I'm not going to have an aneurysm bust in my body somewhere because it runs in the family. I'm not going to have heart disease because it runs in the family. Fuck that. I don't believe that. I take care of myself. So that's what they say. And he believed it. And I believe that that's why he has it, because he believed that it was hereditary. So anyways, he didn't take care of himself. He didn't eat right. He didn't eat properly. He smoked like 2 packs of cigarettes a day. He was an alcoholic. He was a heroin addict for a long time. He cleaned himself up, though, after he lost his house. But he was still an alcoholic. Even to the day of when he fell sick last year with this diabetic stroke. You know why he had that diabetic stroke? Because he was drinking alcohol instead of eating food. He didn't check his numbers. He didn't give himself insulin. Alcohol turns into sugar, especially the next day. It spikes your sugar levels up. So his sugar levels were like, I don't even know how he's alive. It was like 1,333 or 38 or some crazy number. He went blind and everything. So he didn't take care of himself. Yeah, maybe he did bring this upon himself. He wasn't an ideal dad. He didn't go to football games. He didn't take me to brownies. And if he did take me to brownies, he didn't stay. If he took me to dance class, he didn't stay. His ass went to the bar, had a few beers until my dance stuff was over. I had other people in my life that I would call mom and dad. They were like my second mom, my second dad, or I would call them aunt and uncle when they weren't anything to me blood related. They just felt bad. You know, they were my dad's friends. They felt really bad that they knew my dad and we are these little innocent kids and we don't deserve this. So they would take care of us. You know, one woman, she used to bring me to her house every weekend, every day off of school, just so I could ride horses. And, you know, she used to teach me shit. She's the woman that bought me my first bra. You know, I'm like over here 14 years old. Like, what the hell is a bra? I don't even know. You know, I didn't have a mom to teach me about my period. I didn't have a mom or dad to talk to about sex or your first kiss or when you and your best friend have a huge blowout and your friendship is on the rocks. You know, I didn't have parents to nurture me, to hug me. Maybe that's why I'm not a big hugger, because I was never nurtured to be a hugger. No, don't come in here. I don't know what that was. It was a bug. Man, my intentions was not to make this a pity party video. Just my point is, if you have family and they're old, they're sick or handicapped or whatever the case may be, and they're home alone, squash the beef, man. Even if it's not your family or your parents, what if it's your friend or your aunts or uncles or, you know, your neighbor? Squash the beef and just put shit aside and just make sure that they're okay. You know, this heat is fucking killer, especially if people are like my dad. They don't believe in air conditioning, or too cheap to have air conditioning, or not financially stable enough to afford air conditioning. Just check on them. See how they're doing. Make sure they're alive. Bring them to your house. Let them sit in your air conditioning until the evening time comes, when the weather is not so hot and humid. If you have a pool, bring them over to go swim in, or take them to the beach or something, or spray them with the hose and sit in the yard and sit in the shade under a tree and just talk. Get off your cell phone. And just that's the random act of kindness that I wanted to challenge you guys with. I wanted you guys to squash beef. Don't hold shit against people because, you know, they didn't do something that was not up to your expectations. A lot of people do a lot of fucked up shit, and it's not like they intentionally do it. They might even know that what they're doing is bad. They just don't know how to get out of the loop of whatever they're stuck in. A little bit of love goes a long way, and it changes people. So basically, that's really all I wanted to tell you guys is practice random acts of kindness by checking on your loved ones during these hot ass days. And even doing it when it's not hot, you know, just check on people you love and squash the beef, and don't hold shit against people. It took me until I was in my 30s to realize that I shouldn't hold shit against people because they chose a messed up path. You know, I have skeletons in my closet too. I'm not perfect. So there's a lot of things that my two oldest kids could hold against me, and they probably will if they don't, you know, walk this path, this enlightened path, this awareness, this consciousness, that they don't realize and become aware of life and unconditional love. Then, you know, they'll probably hold stuff against me too. I'm kind of hoping that my daughter, my youngest one, like, I raised her with, I nurtured her. I can't really say I nurtured my other kids. I nurtured them better than my parents nurtured me. But I definitely got better at it when my third kid came along. Show your kids love, hug them, talk to them, watch their stupid TikTok videos even if you don't want to, even dance in them even if you don't want to. I hate TikTok. My daughter's always trying to get me to dance in them. And I'm like, get out of here, you're bugging me. Stupid TikTok. I don't even watch the videos. I get enough stuff to laugh at on Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of funny stuff on there. She shares stuff with me, and it's funny. It's like watching Vine videos. I used to watch Vine videos, but I'm usually too busy to watch any of that stuff anyways. If I'm not recording videos and I'm not working, then I'm, you know, working on content, or just, you know, working on myself, or taking care of myself, or binge watching Netflix. Talk about Netflix. You guys got to watch that movie Dark. Man, it's good. It's really good. It's about time travel, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's about time travel, different aspects of ourselves. You know, we don't exist in just this timeline. We exist in multiple timelines. There's different aspects or fractals of us living in different timelines. It's kind of bizarre. I think that there was one point that it even talks about, or doesn't talk about, but there's a scene where it comes up, and to me the scene was totally talking about your twin flame and finding your twin flame and becoming one. But if I tell you more, I will spoil the movie. But this is a series, and it's 3 seasons, and you really need to pay attention. Don't get up to use the bathroom and let it play. You need to pause the video, because if you miss one thing, you'll be lost. Season 1 starts off a little slow, and it's like, do I really want to watch this? But it gets better. Season 2, it's like, whoa. Season 3 is like, wow, that's fucking awesome. I need a season 4, but I don't think they're going to redo it. The way it ended was pretty cool, so I'm glad that I binge watched that. So I'm at work, and it's Friday. Fridays suck. If I was a server, I'd be like, oh yeah, Friday. Fridays are money days. But I'm not a server, so I don't get tips. So it's not a money day for me. I get paid the same no matter what. So I'm going to make my way inside. This video really had no point. It was just me talking, vlogging. I kind of like these vlogs. I don't know about you guys. It kind of gives you an in my life. Maybe it'll give you some questions to ask me when I ever get around to that Q&A. If I ever get around to the Q&A. I don't really like to record videos when people are in my house, meaning my husband, my kids. My husband talks and will interrupt the video. My Rose is not bad. Recording around her is not so bad. I can't do it if I have company over. Plus I feel funny, like they can hear me. I'm in the room talking and they can hear me. I don't know why I feel that way. But I do. Here comes the dragonfly. I call them fairies. But yeah, I'll try to get around to that Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and not even sure if I should title this. I don't think I'm gonna title it. Just gonna witchy vlogs. It's gonna be witchy vlogs. And I promise I won't just be giving you guys vlogs all the time. I will be giving you guys actual videos. I haven't really had anything to talk to you guys about because we cover so much in my other videos. Ascension is still the same, it's just intensified. All the symptoms. I've talked about mostly everything that I could talk about. What do you guys want me to talk about? What do you guys want to know about? Do you guys want to know about dimensions? What's the difference between 3rd, 4th, and 5th? Do you guys want to talk about ascension symptoms, energy updates? I post that on my Facebook and Instagram when they come in. But there's so many that are coming in, it's like, what's the point of talking about them? By now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are already feeling them when they're coming in. I don't know, give me some ideas. You guys give me ideas before. I might have to go back to that video just to read your comments to get some ideas. But maybe some new idea came up, something different that I haven't done yet. I still want to do the whole thing with the Alzheimer's, dementia. I still want to talk about death and my experience with the death angel, and I still want to talk about how death is not the end. It's just getting around to doing it, and when I do get around to do it, it just doesn't feel right. I have to have, the mood has to feel right to record a video for you guys. So I'm gonna leave this here. I love you guys. Show people that you care. Show everybody unconditional love. Even people you don't like, forgive them. Squash the beef with people. When you squash the beef, you'll feel amazing. Trust me. I had beef with my family for like 4 years. I wasn't even talking to my brother and sister. I squashed the beef and changed my perspective. You know, I looked at things in different perspectives, because there's not only one, there's more than one. And dropped judgment, and that really helped me. So even though my video started off with me sounding like I was judging my brother and sister, I was not. It was actually like the build up to the video to show that, you know, maybe they do things for whatever reason they do them, and the perspective shifted for me. Maybe my brother just don't want to see my dad that way, and that's totally understandable. Totally sucks for my dad, but it's totally understandable. So I actually have people that are looking at me. I think they think I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I'm nuts. I'm already nuts. They all think I'm nuts. All right, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.